Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Om Gyantimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse number 24 and 25. Achedya ayam adaya ayam akledya ashoshya evacha nityah sarvagatah sthanuh achalo ayam sanatanaha avyaktaha ayam achintyaha ayam avikarya ayam uchyate tasmat evam viditva enam na anushochitum arhasi. The soul is indivisible, insoluble, and cannot be burned or dried. He is eternal, all-pervading, permanent, non-moving, and ever existing. He is unmanifest and inconceivable, and being free from the 6 types of transformations such as birth and death, he is immutable. After understanding the soul in this way, it is not proper for you to lament. So here Lord Krishna is once again explaining the various distinctive properties of the soul. Many of these he explained in the previous few verses, and he is once again repeating about them in this verse. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the repetition of this indicates the eternality of the soul and removes the doubts of those who are uncertain of its nature. If one says 3 or 4 times that there is religion or dharma in this present age of Kali Yuga, the repetition will lay stress on the fact that without a doubt there is indeed dharma in Kali Yuga. Similarly, the soul's qualities have been repeated to confirm the eternality of his nature. So to emphasize a certain point, we repeat it multiple times, and that's what Krishna is doing here. And also another purpose of repetition is to make us understand. If we read or hear something only once, we tend to forget it very quickly, especially in this age where our minds have become weak and our intellect is not that strong. So the Lord is repeating about the nature of the soul, explaining its different distinctive properties to ensure that we understand that soul is not like matter. If we hear this over and over again, this will drill into our minds and we will start understanding and appreciating the nature of the soul. There is a Hindi verse that says, Karat karat abhyas ke jadmati hot sujan rasri avat jat te sthil par parat nisan. That if someone who is not very intelligent, jadmati means he is gross-minded, even if such a fool practices something over and over and over again, he will over a period of time become intelligent. Just like if there is a stone in the older days, even today in rural India, when there is a well and there is a pulley on the well over which the rope is put to get water from the well. So the stone with on which you cannot make an impression with the rope generally, but the rope, if it keeps going over that stone over and over again, going over multiple times, that rope also creates an impression on that stone. So similarly, by practicing over and over again, we also start understanding and appreciating this otherwise sometimes incomprehensible subject matter that Shri Krishna is explaining. So Krishna says the soul is indivisible. That means it cannot be divided. It was never cut from the Parabram or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This clearly counters the concept of monism or Advaitism. Then he says it's insoluble, means it cannot be dissolved in any type of material liquid, and it cannot be burnt. So since the life comes from the presence of soul, life can survive in any condition, deep under the water and even in fire. It actually has been proven now that there's certain type of bacteria that can survive at 600 degree Fahrenheit. According to our scriptures, there is life even on the sun. How is that possible? Those who live on the sun, their bodies are made up of the fire component. According to Vedic scriptures, there are 5 material ingredients with which every object is made of: earth, fire, air, ether and water. We who live on the earth component or carbon is much higher in our bodies. Those who live deep into the water component is high in their bodies. And those who live on the sun planet, the fire component is very high in their body. But the soul can survive in each and every condition. In the next line, Krishna says, Nitya Sarvagataha, meaning that the soul is eternal and all-pervading. Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ji says that this word Sarvagataha is significant because there is no doubt that living entities are all over God's creation. They live on the land, in the water, in the air, within the earth, and even within fire. The belief that they are sterilized in fire is not acceptable because it is clearly stated here that the soul cannot be burned by fire. In December 2017, there was an NBC article which stated that silicon-based life may be more than just science fiction. And it was explaining the theory that certain scientists are now proposing that life in other planets may exist in different forms, not in the forms that we know of. Here we think that unless there is enough carbon on a planet and water and oxygen, life cannot survive. But now even scientists are coming to believe that maybe on other planets the bodies are made of different components. And on this article they said silicon is probably one element that the bodies could be made of. And those life forms may not necessarily need oxygen the way we need it. They may not necessarily need water the way we need it. So even scientists are coming around to agree to this point. So there is no part of the Lord's creation where the souls do not exist. So across the entire universe, the life exists in some form or the other. Nowadays, there is a race in the scientific community to find life on other planets. But we already know from our scriptures that life does exist on other planets. However, it may not be evident to us. We may not be able to comprehend it with the kind of scientific instruments we have. The life on these planets exists in potentially different dimensions that we are not aware of. So just because our senses are limited, our scientific instruments are limited in their capability, does not mean that the life does not exist on other planets. And since we take the word of the scriptures here, Krishna is clearly saying Sarvagataha means that there is no place in the entire existence where the soul is not present. It does not mean that the soul is present in an undifferentiated manner, because he has already said before that it is indivisible. These are distinct particles of soul taking different forms that are present across the universe. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains another meaning of Sarvagataha. Here he says that the word Sarvagataha, all pervasive, indicates that due to his own actions, the jiva transmigrates through all species of life, such as demigods, human beings, animals, and birds. The soul is therefore inconceivable and is free from the 6 types of transformations, such as birth, death, old age, etc. It cannot be changed by any type of physical or chemical reactions. The presence of the soul cannot be understood through any type of material experimentation. We need to do spiritual experiment by following the process of yoga to understand and realize the soul. One thing for sure, we can agree that source of life is not matter. Chemicals combined in any form and fashion cannot yield life. We have robots today who can do all kind of human activities. They even appear to be very intelligent, very cognizant, but they lack the feelings, the emotion, the love, the anger, all of these human feelings, and which come from consciousness. So consciousness is not material, it is anti-material and is coming because of the presence of the soul. The soul, which is the source of consciousness, is so minute that it cannot be comprehended or seen by any material instruments. We may be able to see the electrons, the protons, which are subatomic particles, but we cannot see the soul. Its presence can only be experienced through the process of yoga and through the authority of the Vedic wisdom. Just like a child accepts someone as his father based upon the authority of his mother, similarly, we accept the presence of the soul, the presence of the Supreme Lord, based on the scriptural evidence. And if one sincerely follows the process that is given in the scriptures, that is being given by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita, one will come to the platform of self-realization. And when one achieves that level, even if one achieves theoretical understanding of the presence and eternality of the soul, he will become free from all lamentation. Why? Because cause of lamentation is fear, cause of lamentation is attachment to this material body and everything that is related to material body. Lamentation arises out of bodily identification. But when one rises above the bodily identification and understands the true nature of his own self and his relationship with the Supreme, one transcends the miserable conditions of material life, one transcends all causes of lamentation and becomes eternally blissful. Krishna says later in Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prasanna Atma na shochati na kankshati that one who is established in self-realization, one who understands his true self, is always prasanna, always blissful, and he na shochitum na kankshati, he never laments and never desires for anything. That's what our goal is. That's what Krishna wants everyone to come to the level of. Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe, have a very blessed day.